again and welcome back. Today I'm going to be following on, if you like, from the video I did last time regarding setting up your grinder. And what I'm going to be doing today is going through how I simplify the process of sharpening, achieve consistent repeatability, and the methods that I use to obtain that. Well, without further ado, let's get to it. Now, the way that I've set up my grinder is in respect of the one-way Wolverine jig and CBN wheels. And as we know, CBN wheels do not reduce in their diameter with use. So if you have aluminium oxide wheels, then this method won't work as accurately. Okay, so the first thing is to get the right height of the base to the center of the spindle, and in this case I've got 6.5 inches, and also to get the front of the base here to be in line with the front of the wheel, like so, and on the other one as well. And what I do is to set this base up first. So before fixing it, I straighten it, I get it completely or as near to square to the face of the wheel and the center of the arm carrier, the basket carrier, in the center of the wheel. And then I move it all around, bearing in mind, as I say again, I haven't fixed this base down at this stage, and then I get a clamp it down, and I put a few little spots of hot glue, and then when that's gone off, then I screw it into place after checking again that everything is square and correct. So then once that is done, now I use the right angle platform. Okay, so once that's done, set it up so that the distance between the wheel, whatever that may be, take a measurement with a thin piece of wood or a thin piece of steel, whatever, and then you've got how far this table is away from the wheel. Okay, and keep the angle the same. In this way I've got it's about 17.5 degrees for my skew chisels on setting number 2. So it's all set up and all square. Now, the important thing, in my view, is to ensure that your right-hand wheel, in respect to the base, is in exactly the same position as it is over on this wheel. Because if you're doing reprofiling on the coarse grit and then you bring it over to the fine wheel, things aren't going to be correct, because there's a slight difference in the setup of this wheel with respect to that wheel and the base. So again, what I would do is not actually fix the base down here, and I know I'm repeating myself on the last one, but I think it's important. Put the same bit of equipment into the base, and again jig it around to make sure it's square, that it's in the right orientation with regards to the front here, to the front of the wheel. Put your table in, lock it off, and then move this base around until everything is exactly the same as on the left-hand wheel. Again, use a couple of spots of hot glue to hold it in place. When that goes off, screw it down. So now, whatever you do on this wheel with a piece of equipment, you move that bit of equipment over to this wheel and it'll be in the same orientation, and you should get a really good sharpening situation with your bevels. There won't be any micro bevels or anything. It'll be exactly the same as from here to there. So that is the way that I set up the grinder initially. Now, just to show you this works in practice, I've got my 1/2 inch skew chisel. This is the coarse wheel. So let's just say I've done some reshaping regarding to the bevel angle. Now, this is about 17.5 degrees. On the right angle, it's on position 2, which gives me that angle. So we just do a quick touch to the wheel there, and you can see you've got your single facet bevel. Now if we move the table with the setting in exactly the same position, and this would obviously work for the one-way table as well, and then we give it a couple of passes on the fine wheel, we can see we've got a single facet bevel again with no deviation, and this is because the wheels are set up identically with whatever bit of equipment you've got here, in this case the table, and I'm going to go over to the fingernail jig now and show you that that works as well. Now when it comes to your gouges, your spindle gouges, your bowl gouges, etc., there are three factors which dictate your consistency of repeatability, and that is the distance that the tool is actually extended from the jig. The second factor is the angle of the leg, and the third factor is the distance of the basket from the wheel. So to enable us to get this consistent repeatability, those factors need to be constant. Now what I've done over the years, I have found that there are three basic angles that I use, and for my bowl gouges I use 55 degrees, for my spindle gouges, the ordinary spindle gouge, the 3/8, I use an angle of 40 degrees, and I do have one at 30 degrees. So those are the three main angles that I use. So to enable me to eliminate one inconsistency, i.e. the distance of the basket from the wheel, I have three hardwood spacers. I've got bowl gouge, spindle gouge, and that is the 40 degree, and then a 30 degree for the other one. So in this case I'm using my standard spindle gouge, so I merely take the spacer, offer it to the back of the basket here, and then bring it up to the front of the base, and when that's there I lock it off. So that is going to be the same distance each time I sharpen that particular gouge. Now I found no need to keep moving this angle for normal sharpening procedures for my turning needs, so I keep that at a constant, whatever that is. Then I obviously make sure that that distance is the same. In this case it's around 2.5 inches, and I merely put the face at the same place, apply the same pressure to keep this face up against this stop here, and then advance the tool through the jig until it reaches this metal piece here, and then I lock it off. So that then again eliminates that inconsistency. So we've eliminated the inconsistency of the leg by keeping it in the same position. You can move it if you want to alter your grind, but I have found that the three angles that I use and the situation that I do with turning, everything is covered with those three angles. If I want to change them I can do, but for normal sharpening that's what I do. So I set the distance of the gouge protrusion, set the basket with the spacer, the leg is in the same position, and then it should, if it isn't, also ensure there's no debris in the basket, so it should actually give me the same grind as last time. And if you look there, it's a single facet, it's exactly the same as it was the last time that I sharpened it. And again, to just prove the importance, if you're doing any major reshaping, the same thing applies. You place your basket into the base, apply your spacer, okay, this is on the coarse wheel obviously, and then everything remains the same, the distance from the jig and the angle of the leg, So we're doing it on the coarse grit now. And you can see there, single facet, because the wheel is in the same position, relative to everything, each wheel is the same. Remove the basket. This is just to prove that it works from the rough, from the coarse grit to the fine grit. So you've done your reshaping, whatever that may be. You again set up your spacer, and we're on the fine wheel now. Couple of passes on the fine wheel. And again, we have a single facet on the bevel. I make no apologies for repeating some of the content that was in the last video regarding setting up the grinder, but I think that's very important. And I hope the tips that I've given you will make your sharpening experience a little easier and more enjoyable. After all said and done, what we really want is speed and repeatability. One thing I didn't mention is I think it's of vital importance to always have your grinder as near to the lathe as possible. And this then negates the situation of when you're turning, you think, oh, I need to sharpen, or I'll do a couple more passes. If it's there, it's literally turn around, sharpen, come back. Better experience and a lot more safe as well. So I hope you found it of interest. If you take a couple of things away, then my job is done. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers now.